There's no such thing as an ugly woman, just a lazy one. As Helena Rubinstein once famously said. Oh, I love Helena Rubinstein. I love her style, her outlook on life, her makeup. I used to work at the Rubinstein counter in the department store in the next town before I married Wavell, and then I moved here. Oh, like most of the women working there, I was always on the lookout for husband material, and when Wavell turned up, I was hooked. Which is a little joke, I like to say, as he ran the fishing tackle shop on the high street. As soon as I married, I gave up the makeup counter. I know that's not a very progressive attitude, but my bunions couldn't cope with 30 years of standing at a counter. I'm all for equal rights, don't get me wrong, but I've no time for feminism. I dabbled with it for an afternoon after reading an article in a House and Home, but it didn't last. Feminism, to me, is a little common, you know. It's fine for some people, but I've got no desire to hang outside a labour exchange in dungarees and parrot earrings. I mean, I quite like the fact that my husband has no idea what the iron is for, and he thinks a slow cooker's what I call his mother. Now, you see, I've always liked order, and for everyone to know their roles. I know women are capable of doing everything a man can, but why would we want to? I mean, the country's currently being governed by a woman, and look where that's left us. Saying all this, I did fancy myself as an entrepreneur like Helena Rubinstein when I was younger. I wanted to be a business mogul, and Wavell was very supportive of my dreams. He always said, "You could be the next Helena Frankenstein of Lancashire." Well, he didn't always get it right, but he tried. So instead of being a makeup mogul, I worked in Wavell's fishing tackle shop on the high street. But it was nothing like the Helena Rubinstein counter. It was cold, and it smelt. And the only thing even slightly resembling cosmetics was the insect repellent. I didn't like working there at all, but I turned up. Every day, ready to work, in my twin set, my French roll, and red lipstick. As Helena Rubinstein said, hard work keeps the wrinkles out of the mind and spirit. Now, I wear Max Factor pants stick, L'Oreal setting powder, and a Revlon red lip. Now, some people do mention that red lipstick on a daily basis in a small Lancashire town in a fishing tackle shop was a bit much, but I don't see why my standards should slip just because of our location, so I insist on wearing makeup and nail varnish every day. In fact, Wavell's never seen me without makeup on. He always says, "You walk out of that bathroom like a vision of loveliness, like the Venus de Milo, with arms." Now, where my story starts is after a rather vigorous League of Health and Beauty class, when I received my first Avon catalogue. I looked at this little book of dreams and a plan was hatched. This could be my project. This could be my hobby. I was never a fan of hobbies much myself. I always thought hobbies were for boring people with too much time on their hands. But with Avon, I'd be doing something important. I'd be making the world a more beautiful place. Wasn't I the one that stopped the vicar's wife from using TCP as perfume? Wasn't I the one that helped Carol from the chippy with her claw-like fingernails? Hadn't I introduced the Farrah Fawcett flick to the local hairdressers? I mean, because of me, the whole front row at the church looked like Charlie's Angels. Well, I mean, Wavell did call them more like Danny LaRue, but we all have to start somewhere. Now, the only thing I was worried about was convincing Wavell that it was a good idea, but to be honest, I knew as long as his dinner was on the table by 5, it wouldn't really make much difference, and it didn't. He didn't even notice. I mean, I'd thought he would start to mind when the customers started coming into the fishing tackle shop to collect their orders. You know, the fishing tackle shop turned into a mother's meeting place instead of a fishing tackle shop. In fact, Wavell had a few jokes, didn't he? He used to say, "Oh, it should be hair nets in here instead of fish nets." What was the other one? He said it should be fishing on the river Avon, not Avon on the fish. Oh, he did laugh. And he didn't really mind at all. I mean, he could see I was happy. And I mean, sometimes a smile is the best makeup of all. I'd even managed to get Wavell to embrace a little beauty routine of his own, a little Skin So Soft body lotion for his cracked knees and elbows. As Helena Rubinstein said, men are just as vain as women, sometimes even more so. I mean, he did point out it's not vanity, it keeps the midges away. Well, actually, it turns out that Avon Skin So Soft body lotion is actually a perfectly natural insect repellent. And after that, all of the local fishermen were coming into the store to ask for Avon Skin So Soft body lotion, although they had to find a far more a manly name for it than that. I think they came up with the name Sailor's Balm. And after that, the shop was busier than ever, and I got my makeup empire after all. Not many men were coming in for fishing tackle, what with the recession, and the beauty side was taking off. It's known as the lipstick effect in economics. So we changed the name of the fishing tackle shop to Fishing for Compliments. And it was my shop. And I stand in my shop, like the successful businesswoman that I am, all big hair and shoulder pads. I feel like Julia Roberts in Pretty Woman, like minus the chewing gum and prostitution. I feel like the boss and it feels good. And now I think maybe women can run things. Now don't get me wrong, I still don't call myself a feminist, but I can see the wheels of power changing. And I like it. As Helena Rubinstein said, beauty is power. But don't be blinded by it. Create it.